Um, we have found some more information on this septic ordinance that we're about to read. There has been some changes in what the water company can and cannot do for us. The water company does not have the legal stand so that they initially told us that they had to turn someone's water off for purposes of misuse of the septic tank. That's a law that I think happened back in September of 2012, in 2012 sometime. I just got a memo on that from the water company. Was that last Friday?
Friday.
That I sent y'all all copies. So I think at this time I would like to, I can do this as running the mayor, can I make a motion maybe to withdraw this ordinance at the time and revisit it, and we can get a little more information together and
I would have to second that.
try a back end run on
Without a
something.
hammer on it, you can't support it, you can't.
That would be worthless.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a piece of paper you can't do anything with.
Yeah, it has no teeth.
The only teeth it had is that we had the authority to have the water shut off, and we don't have
Okay, so I'm making a motion to withdraw this from the discussion.
And I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Right. Passed. Angela?
I did not like it. I would like to say that Ms. Gross has worked very, very hard. And I appreciate all the effort with the water company, which I think everybody knows they're not exactly the easiest people to get information from at times. So we appreciate all
Yeah,
those
thank you.
efforts. Otherwise, we would have done something that we really couldn't support.
We were, discussing with them. He told us initially that, yes, this was a possibility. I thought he said they've done it with other cities.
He did.
And perhaps they have, but they no longer can. And,
Was that Mr. Quigley you talked to?
no, Mr. Kyles, Jack Kyles from Monarch, he's a regional manager of that. And anyway, like I said, it was a last minute notice that he sent me on Friday, so.
As long as we're passing out thank yous, I'd like to thank Phil for taking the effort to research the ordinance and so forth there with Berryville, and also Pam. And then I did some research also and so forth there. So thank you both for initiating this particular thing and taking the effort to properly research it.
Okay. Let's move on to number 10, discuss Briarwood Bay compliance with the garbage franchise agreement. I think several of us are going to speak on that tonight. I think, first of all, Dawn, Mr. Weaver, and myself went to a meeting with the Allied Waste people on last Thursday, I believe, and spoke with Mr. Briscoe and Mr. Keenan and James, don't remember his last name. At any rate, Dawn, would you like to speak to
Sure,
what
sure.
was-
We they had the article in the paper, and it looked like the article in the paper already addressed the people who were delivering the service and so forth there. And here in the audience there, we have Zach over here in this chair over there. Raise your hand, Zach. And we have Gene over to his left. Raise your hand, Gene. So forth there. And we had a real nice meeting, and they were interested in Briarwood Bay's compliance and so forth there. And they were real nice folks and so forth there. And we were basically asking for patience and so forth there in order to bring it in compliance. And they seemed to be very willing to do that. And Zach brought up what I thought was a fantastic idea. Zach had volunteered to bring home one of these giant dump stores or containers. How many? 4. And park it in front of Briarwood Bay, so Briarwood Bay could dump anything that they wanted in there. And boy, you want to talk about a golden opportunity to clean stuff up. I was here on trash day and so forth there, and liberal is a dirty word, but or in some crowds it is. They like to throw anything in those dumpsters, just about. I saw furniture and I saw sheet metal and I saw things that, well, it was none of my business, but anyway, Zach said that would be a great way to meet the people of Briarwood Bay, possibly get some more people to sign up, and the public relations effort on that I thought was just outstanding. So I want to thank both the folks that are here from Republic and so forth there for making the effort to allow us the time for compliance, and also bringing free service for basically, which would amount to almost a massive cleanup. And these were specifically targeted for Briarwood Bay and Briarwood Bay service area and so forth there. So that's a darn good thing, and man, y'all ought to jump on it. Zach, do y'all schedule these things yet?
No, sir, we haven't. We were waiting till tonight to see.
Well, anyway, we need to come together on a date, and when these things do arrive, y'all need to spread the word that these things are there and fill them up, because a tremendous amount of cleanup could be done on Briarwood Bay at Republic's expense, and that will give you a chance to meet the Republic people and you can discuss. And I know that there were people who voiced we have a contract with them till April, is that correct? So it's not a matter of what we do or don't want to do with Republic Services. It's already done. It was not done by, we have nothing to say about it. The contract's already been let, and Briarwood Bay has been annexed and so forth there. So if there's going to be any fighting about it, it's going to have to be done in April.
Mr. Weaver, I think the mayor's going to also speak as to the franchise.
Well, the city does have a franchise agreement with the company, and we have to honor the franchise agreement. It's been in existence for almost 2.5 years. And the service, as far as I'm concerned, has been excellent. I haven't received any complaints from anybody about service. And there is those dumpsters that they do provide twice a year under their agreement now. And they do it once in April and again in October. And that's the opportunity for people to get rid of stuff that they can't put out on the road, and not very many other garbage companies will do that for nothing. That's part of the franchise agreement, and they do that, and it worked out very well. I put a couch in there, and
I put a toilet.
Anyway, the service has been good, so anybody in Briarwood Bay that hasn't signed up, I encourage you to go ahead and do so.
And I can tell you, back when it first came in, there was a big battle at that time too. Everybody had their own providers, and, you know, I've been very happy myself, so. And they pick up, every how much you put out, they pick it up, so.
So we, bottom line, would like for the residents of Briarwood Bay to get into compliance to go along with this garbage franchise agreement. Like I said, we can always revisit it when it comes up for renewal and hear from you then and how you feel about it. Maybe you'll be very, very happy, because I'm very happy with them. I have their service and I'm very happy with them. But we'll hear from y'all back next April. Okay.
Does the city know projected how much income is going to be coming with the addition of Briarwood Bay's compliance with the Allied Waste? How much that's going to generate for the city on a monthly basis?
Additional franchise fee?
I don't think we put a principle to that.
Because I know in the previous meeting you said $600 or $700 a month.
About a month, we did it quarterly.
That's quarterly.
So that was that?
That would increase substantially. That is an extra little benefit of having that franchise agreement.
Right.
The city gets some revenue off of it, and the city drastically needs revenue sources. And it's not a tax, it's, you pay your $14 or whatever it is for your garbage bill, and the city gets a percentage off of that.
Mr. Keenan or Mr. Briscoe, do either of you wish to speak tonight, or have we covered it? Or
I think I would. I don't know where I should go. I want to agree with
It's
people in the
fine.
back.
Stay right there. We're informed.
Well, I'm Gene Keenan. I'm the Government Affairs Manager for Republic Services, and I have the Division Manager with me, Zach Briscoe. He's the operation. I'm sorry I'm bumping your hair.
You're fine. You're fine.
But we do appreciate the College City account. You know, we did several years ago, or a couple of years ago, purchased another company that already had the contract, and this is something that goes on all over the United States, the franchises, and there's different reasons for that. I mean, just last year, Frankston did it, and we had to go in and pull, I think, 68 or 70 accounts we had there that we had to pull out of there because another company took that one. And Berryville, the same thing. They have a franchise with someone, and this is what goes on all across the nation. And a lot of that has to do with, of course, we live in a more of a legal system now, to where people are held responsible, but people don't like to be held responsible. But as a city, now that that's inside the city limits, the city is required to have some type of control and have liability insurance on whatever goes on in there. They have on record our insurance here, and I can tell you, we're insured up the wazoo. We're a $9 billion company all across the nation. We're the second largest in the nation. but we have all local people that work it. But you want to make sure, I'm sure there are children that play in Briarwood Bay, and you want to make sure if there's a tragic accident there, that there's sufficient resources to handle that situation. You're just not going to get that with just anybody going in and out of there. It just isn't possible. So now the city knows who's traveling on the road. They have all of our contact information. If there's an issue, they go right to the contract. They know, it even says in the contract that the city is not held liable for any negligence on the contractor's behalf, which means if something did happen and someone was hurt and that person didn't have enough insurance, the attorneys are going to go after the city because it was a city property. So that's why the city is doing this. And I know I run into this very often where people are thinking, you know, how come I'm being told who I have to use? And it's a very legitimate concern, but it is sort of a changing society, what we live in. And those are several of the reasons why it's more of a liability. But if you're going to choose someone, I hope that when April comes up, you'll choose us again. And I can tell you, there are benefits, like with the roll-offs. That's about $3,000 value that we're going to give Briarwood Bay that we're going to spend because we want to be a good corporate citizen and let the people have a place to take it close by to get rid of that stuff that's in their yards that I hear complaints about. And we want to do those things. We're good. Whenever we have the events down here with the cleanup, Zach brought his cooker and we had hot dogs and sausage for people that came in and, you know, sit and visit and drinks. And we're going not drinks, but, you know, sodas, Mr. Chief. So that's, you have to be so careful what you say, but we hope that you do. We have had so many awards for our company. In the Forbes magazine named us one of the top 100 most trustworthy companies 2 years in a row, and we were the only garbage company, and that's across the whole United States. In 2011, in Bullard, we were Business of the Year. 2012, we were the Overton New London Business of the Year. Just this year, we were the Marshall Business of the Year, and that's heavy competition. And it's very rare that a trash company wins these type of awards, but we go overboard. We try to go the extra mile. We're going to furnish these poly carts. If yours gets lost, damaged, stolen, we're going to bring another one out there. We're not going to charge a fee for you to have that.
Are you going to put them in automatically? Because I've been waiting for one. I haven't got my one I was using picked theirs up. I have no place to even put my garbage.
Briarwood Bay is a little different than a lot of our cities. A lot of our cities that supply water, we have an actual address for every single home. Briarwood Bay is not set up like that. And we're having to have the citizens actually call in and set it up. So have you been set up as one of Republic?
I can't find a telephone number for them.
We were hoping when we put the sign out there with permission of the city that we had the 800 number out there for everyone to be able to get that number. So, but I'll give you a card. I'll help you with that tonight. And I'll stay here afterwards and answer any questions that I need to. But we don't want to force anybody to do business with us. We feel like we have the largest section of business in East Texas. We've been here 40 years, have a good reputation, and we want to entice you to do business with us where our rates are very low. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in 26 cities across this East Texas area if we weren't good on pricing and good on service. You're just not going to do that with folks out here. They're going to, and word of mouth gets out, and you're going to have to, you know, have that quality of service to keep everyone happy. And we want to be that trash company for you out here. And we always have contact information available so that you don't have to get a runaround if you've got a problem. There's going to be people that know how to get a hold of us and fix your problem as quick as possible. We're going to have a problem, but it's how fast we fix it, you know, anytime. We have so many trucks on the road that if there's a truck breakdown, because they do break down, you may be delayed a couple of hours, but not a couple of days like you might with some other companies. The other thing that's very important that I feel like that separates us is that all of our employees are criminal background checked and drug tested before The test, the things we do before a driver is hired is the same as the police department does, except for the polygraph. And we're not allowed to do that by law, or we would do that. But when these people are driving through your neighborhood, you want to make sure that they're not casing out your house, and they're also that your children are safe. And we don't cut any corners on that. We do criminal background checks, even random drug tests afterwards, and they have strict safety guidelines that they have to meet. And there's also route observation. Sometimes you may notice a pickup truck following a trash truck. That's because we're doing observations, seeing how they turn corners, how they stop, you know, how safe they are. It's a constant thing with us, and you have to be that way. And I can tell you, we have purchased a company in the past that all 5 of their people couldn't work for us because they either failed the criminal background check or the drug test. And we had 6,000 new customers that we didn't know where they were, but we weren't going to let them on our trucks. So I'll stay afterwards, Mayor, and thank you, Mayor, for letting me speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
But would it be possible for me to just ask the council? It seems like it's a good time for me to bring this up.
Go ahead.
And I appreciate your comments, and it sounds like you guys have got a great plan for Briarwood Bay.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask the council, for those people who get really agitated and say, I will not use Liberty or anybody else, and they just let their garbage pile up and let the dogs have it, will you consider trying to find out with the police or whoever, can you enforce and make them do something with their garbage other than just let the dogs have it? I'd like to see that happen.
Briarwood Bay Property Owners Association has rules and regulations governing that very issue. So if you have a problem like that in the Briarwood Bay subdivision, you need to go to your homeowners association and get them to enforce that.
That's what we need right there, is enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Keenan, for your comments.
Can I make one
Savage?
last statement, and then I'll rest my case? I've joined up with Republic. Now, we had 4 trash cans over in Briarwood Bay. Every time we'd go over, the garbage would be poured out. Until my granddaughter got a hold of the office and told them. And the dogs just carried off all of our trash cans. Then we didn't have any trash out. We put sacks out there and the dogs didn't carry them off. But the dogs carried off our trash cans, 4 of them.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Savage.
Made Gully very happy to do trash cans.
Okay, let's move on now to number 11, the records retention officer. We discussed this at a last meeting. We are required to have a records retention officer by the state, and it's gotten a lot more complicated than you might imagine. And there's, I looked at that seminar to take online, and you got to appropriate several hours to do it, you know, without interruption. So anyway, tonight we would like to name our records retention officer. I think we're going to make our city secretary, Angela Jones, the retention officer. If y'all want to take a vote on this, do I make a motion on it?
I make a motion that we make Angela the retention officer.
Second. Everyone in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, that carried, Angela. Number 12, swearing in of reserve officers. We have, is there two new reserves you're swearing in this evening? Okay, would you like to come forward with that, and we'll,
Would you like to introduce the officers, Donnie?
Oh, swearing in, I thought you said swearing. I was getting ready.
I think this is the guy that patted the guy on the head over.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my goal around here is to make sure that we serve our public. That's the people of the city of Coffee City. By saying that, we also want to protect you. My goal is to do just those 2 things right there, serve and protect. And one of the ways I'm doing that is more people out on the street. I'm giving you 2 new officers here. Officer Terry Taywater, Officer Gregory Sinkfield.
Welcome.
These
We
2
welcome
officers
you.
here are very experienced in what they're doing. They've worked for other departments. They know exactly what they're doing. they work hard. They really do. They work real hard. If you need them, they're available. I'm available. Police department's available. Just give the county a call, and that's the way we get there, and we get there as quickly as possible for you. But as I said, we're gonna swear these guys in tonight. Kind of emotional about this.
Have y'all maybe come up here in front where everyone can see you and then she can.
How many reserves do you have now, Chief?
We have 6, and I think next month we're gonna, or the month after that, we're gonna put on 2 or 3 more.
Thank you for doing that. We need y'all. We really do, and thank you sincerely.
Okay. Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Reserve Officer in the city of Coffee City, state of Texas, and I will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state and the charter and ordinance of this city. And I furthermore solemnly swear that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, nor promised to contribute any money or valuable thing, or promise any public office or employment as a reward to secure my appointment. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Could I get you 2 gentlemen to stand together once again, please, so I can get y'all's faces? Once again, thank you very much, and welcome to Coffee City. We welcome you, all of us. Maybe not all of us, but most of us.
Okay, we'd like to thank you, officers, for joining our city here, and thank you, Officer Malone. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Sherry. Is he ready to? I think as they're filling out their paperwork, we will go on to number 13, swearing in police chief. Officer Malone has been our interim police chief. Mayor, would you like to speak to his schooling and training and speak on that?
When we first hired Officer Malone, he had the basic certification as a police officer, and so we made him the interim police chief with the understanding that if he finished his schooling to get his advanced certification, then we would make him the police chief. He has completed his schooling for his advanced certificate. He hasn't actually received the certificate, but it's all been certified. So,
Discussion. I didn't know we were discussing on doing a police chief. It hadn't been brought up.
On the agenda.
I mean, but you all talking about swearing him in. It hadn't been discussed on making him police chief through the council.
did you have another alternative?
Is it, have you checked around or looking for anybody else? Okay, let me ask you this, in getting a new police chief, making him police chief, is that gonna make, do we have to change his pay? It's gonna stay the
That
same?
wasn't part of it.
No, that was part of the original agreement when we put him in as the acting.
The only thing that's changing is the interim is coming off.
Yeah, the interim.
He's been doing the job of the police chief, and now that he has his advanced certification,
I
then
understand
he
that.
qualifies to
But
be a
what I'm
police
saying is
chief.
that when we made him police interim chief, we didn't guarantee him to be the police chief. And what I'm saying, it wasn't brought up to the council to discuss, that's all I'm asking.
Well, we're bringing that before the council right now.
we could discuss it now if you wish. I mean, we're here to swear him
Before
in,
you-
but
before you vote on
if you,
Well, I just want to I just want to understood that we gonna make a police chief pay stay the same, because here we are talking about, we don't want to do an audit because of money.
right,
Yeah.
right,
So-
there's no money
Please,
changing that at all.
We'd have to have another meeting for any pay changes. That wasn't gonna happen.
And his pay has already been budgeted for the year,
Yeah,
so
so
we
we
can't
not-
do anything about that this year anyway.
Now, if you go out and start shopping for a police chief, you're not gonna find one that's gonna come in for what.
But you never know because you never charge, so.
Well, we've had a couple of people interested in the past.
Yes, again, we never chopped around, so we'll never know.
I don't think we've ever had a police chief that had this high a certification in the history of Coffee City.
We haven't.
I think we should feel very blessed that we have one.
I've been here 11 years, and I think he's good. I mean, I've heard y'all's meetings, and even after, just because I don't attend all of them, okay, I've heard about him. Whenever I was in need of him in a crucial situation, he came immediately and put that person in handcuffs. And he did it on his own. And he warned that person. We need the law officers in Coffee City to help us, because we, the people alone, cannot do it. And the way he responded, he was there within 5 minutes of the phone call.
Thank you, Mr.
Same here, he's responding to me within 5 minutes also.
So see, we've got a
That wasn't
good
the issue.
chief.
The issue was that it wasn't up on the table for discussion before we discuss and swearing him in.
One more
You're
time,
correct.
Am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay.
We didn't
That this
actually
was a
have the
decision
discussion
made
of changing it.
by the council.
Who has a question? Yes, sir?
there's a police activities committee, police actions committee, consists of all ex-police chiefs and constables, which is, myself is one of them. Can't remember the constable's name now.
Rick Stewart,
Stewart,
Fulmer.
George Fulmer,
George Fulmer from,
and Larry Paxton.
and Larry Paxton. All of us have tremendous amount of experience in law enforcement. We looked at Donnie very carefully. We made the recommendation that he be made the interim chief so we could get a chance to observe his conduct, and I've seen nothing that would change our mind on that particular issue.
And I thank you for what you're saying, but my point is this, is that it was never brought to the council for the committee, for the, everybody
committee
here
went
to
to the
make
mayor
that
with it.
decision before we put
That's
it on
right.
there to swear him in. And we don't want to run into what we used to run into, one person, two people's making a decision without the whole council knowing about it.
I see the point that she's
I
making.
I
I see
understand
the
her point
point
too.
that she's
I just,
making.
I believe
Yeah.
he's done a very nice job of building the police force back up. And
Okay.
knowing
I'd
what
like
we-
to see y'all out a little
No-
more.
Yeah, knowing what we had when we walked in here.
Yeah.
Well, do y'all as a council feel like we can swear him in this evening?
We can, but
Happy with
again,
that?
I would like, again, we're gonna do something like this, I would like to, we need to discuss it first before we wanna swear someone in.
Sure.
Absolutely,
Fair.
absolutely.
Not a problem.
And really, if I may address this at this time, the reason we put these agendas out on Friday is so you can read through them, and if there is a question of that, I mean, this is the time to bring it up, but that is a good point that you made, is that it was not discussed to do it, that it was just taken on the advice of the PAC committee, so you're correct in what you're saying. Okay, let's get on with swearing our, you
However you want to do it.
Whichever you want to do. Raise your right hand. I
I, Donnie Malone,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Chief of Police
of Chief of Police
of the City of Coffee City,
of the City of Coffee City,
State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will do,
and will do,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve and protect
preserve and protect
and defend the
and
Constitution
defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United
and
States
the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and the charter
and the charter
and ordinance of this city,
and the ordinance of this city,
and I furthermore
and I furthermore
solemnly swear
solemnly swear